Welcome to Miss.sheeena's world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Amanda, you have really found yourself in a very, very unique situation, haven't you? A very unique situation, a situation that you could have easily found yourself out of, mind you, but you found yourself in it. You mean to tell me that there were so many opportunities in just this part 1 reunion, which has me real worried for you, girl, with part 2 and part 3 coming in the next 2 weeks. But there were so many times in this part 1 reunion that he had an opportunity to speak up and defend you, defend himself, defend the both of you, speak up in general and say something. And he didn't. Was quiet as a church whore mouse. You need to go to church, but you know what I mean. Quiet as hell. And yet the man across from you, who you were married to at one point, who you spent 10 years of your life with, actually wants to stick up for you and is actually itching to just say something in your defense, but also knows that he's not in that place anymore and he doesn't actually need to be doing that. If anyone needs to be doing that, it should be this piece of shit right here. For the most perfect example, the last 30 seconds of the part 1 reunion where Ciara literally says, hey, maybe actually Amanda is right for Wes, because Wes does need someone who is very mute and weak-minded and won't check you on things and actually will make you the star of the relationship. And Wes looks over and nods his head and doesn't say anything to defend you. Doesn't say anything to say, hey, that's fucked up. Don't say that about her. She's not weak. Doesn't say any of that. But you want to know who does? The man next to Ciara. But let's go through the timeline real quick that we were given in this part 1. And shout out to Gibson for putting this all in one thread so it's easy to just go down the list. Wes and Amanda claim that their first kiss was on March 1st and that they did not sleep with each other until after March 31st. Now, I have a 100% credible, reliable source that can tell you, because they told me in the room yesterday while watching this reunion, that they were actually caught in bed with one another by one of Wes's friends a week before that brunch on March 1st. Plus, we all saw in the beginning of the episode where Mia said that at the very least, it would have started second week of January or second to last week of January. So it's crazy that we're coming into the reunion, which is meant to be the day that you air it all out, that we finally get to the truth, that you decide to spread more lies. As opposed to these two on the other side of the room that came into this reunion locked in, ready to go, and prepared for those two. To tell Ciara in the first 10 minutes or so to fuck off for this reunion. You telling Ciara to fuck off is crazy when you've been fucking on Wes. But you know what, Amanda? I think that you saying to fuck off is expected, though, because so far in this reunion, I don't get the sense that you actually feel bad, that you actually care, that you hurt some of those people on the other side of the room. I haven't gotten the feeling yet that you feel bad about anything, actually, because you're having giggle moments in the dressing room with Wes after you're done talking to Andy. Your only concern was coming into this reunion to clear up timelines and rumors. You can't say clearing up the rumor, because the biggest rumor was you two having any type of romantic involvement with one another. And now that we know that that's not a rumor anymore, it is the truth. Nothing else is a rumor anymore. It's just speculation and just confusion, if anything. Like, we're confused how you could do this to Ciara. We're confused how you could go from a DJ to a podcaster. We're confused why you came to this reunion with a ponytail that's also in a bun. The only thing I wasn't confused about was the color of your dress, in fact, being butter yellow. Shout out to you, Lindsay Hubbard. What is more important? What is more important? Having sex or an emotional connection? Thank you. Mother Hubbard has already been activated in just part 1. I can't even begin to think what's about to come out of her mouth for part 2 and part 3. And I'm excited that I can't even think about what's going to come out of her mouth. Because we know from Andy himself that she was very much involved in this reunion when it comes to the questioning even. And you know what's good about Lindsay is she could honestly be a good reunion host if she could also figure out a way to not be biased in situations. Like, she was basically the reunion co-host in a way for this part 1 reunion. And she was asking questions that, like, I wanted to know the answers to. Carl, I was not expecting to be impressed with you during this reunion. I don't really know what I was expecting from you in this reunion other than you being a mess, of course. But you impressed the hell out of me this reunion, especially when you were like, that statement was like singing happy birthday to somebody but not putting their name in it. Plus, it's been pretty clear, especially in the past couple months, that Carl does not fuck around when it comes to Ciara, okay? He loves and cares about that girl a hell of a lot. Also, did anyone catch, I can't remember what specific part, but when they were talking about how Amanda's only been hanging out with Wes lately, how that's only been her only friend outside of Katie Jaluka, even Carl was like, some of your close friends have even been saying out loud publicly that you have not seen them in a while. So we know all you've been doing is hanging out with Wes and his friends. Sober Carl is tea. Now, out of all the things that we heard in this part 1 reunion, in my opinion, the biggest shock to me was them saying that their first time having sex was after the statement. If that is true, let's just say that's true, that the first time he stuck that thing that we've all unfortunately seen into her patoola after the statement. What type of Hallmark shit is this? But someone on Threads caught that, if you remember from those 3 leaked audios, in one of the audios, Amanda says that before the statement was released, a reason for it was because there was this alleged video of Amanda and Wes in an intimate setting. So if they did not have sex until after the statement, they were obviously doing something intimate with one another that has to be outside of kissing and ear stuff. For it to be so bad that Amanda would have to think there is a video of something that they've already done together in a private setting. Like, let's just say it wasn't sex. Let's say it was, oral stuff. That is still just as bad. Something that really irritated and just irked my soul was anytime Wes thought that he could just laugh along with the guys or with just the group whenever something was funny. Like the cutout conversation with Lindsay giving, was it Carl or Kyle, a cutout hand job. You don't get to laugh at this. Shut up. Also, if Ciara is Princess Leia, then you're Gollum, motherfucker. And you're just a snake in the grass. One other thing, I was so confused when we were in the dressing room and Kyle was talking about how he was bottoming out and how Ciara had no idea how much he was bottoming out. As a gay man, I was very confused. But I think that meant rock bottom, like hitting rock bottom. But that's a different phrase over here in my community. All in all, though, fantastic part 1 reunion. Exceeded any expectations that I had and more. I am itching and scratching and crawling my way to next Tuesday, which is also going to be the start of Love Island. These next 2 Tuesdays, you guys, with Love Island USA and part 2 and part 3 of Summer House are going to be stacked. So just be prepared now. And I leave you all with this.
Well, if that bothers you, Amanda, imagine if your best friend actually got with your ex that you still were flirting with and having sleepovers with. Imagine how bothered you would be then. Guys, I knew I would be pissed at Amanda this reunion after hearing the leaked audios, but watching her is making me enraged. Of course, Wes is trying to downplay everything with Ciara, and then Ciara's like, we had sleepovers, like 2 sleepovers in the fall, we were flirty texting, and then we saw them on the finale, and you're trying to downplay this still. And I love Lindsay for asking him, what is a stronger connection? Just sleeping with someone or having like an emotional connection? And obviously emotional, so she clocks him. Even Jesse's face when Wes was going on about how, like, I just really wanted to be her friend. Like, his face says it all. He knows Wes is a liar. And then Lindsay again, I just love activated Lindsay when she's just like, you were so good at this. You were so good at pulling girls when you need them, when it's convenient for you. But then the moment they can no longer serve you, serve whatever purpose or whatever clout chasing ladder you're after, that's when you're going to drop them. Just like you're going to drop Amanda. Amanda rolls her eyes. And then Lindsay tells Wes he won't be able to handle it because he's a toddler. And that's the best way to describe Wes. You know how we say man-child? He's like a man-toddler. The way Ciara ended this first part, oh, how I loved it. Because then Ciara goes in and says, you know what? Maybe they will be together for a while because she thinks the best partner for Wes is someone that will not check him. And she says, that's Amanda. And honestly, we all know that's Amanda because we've watched Amanda for years with Kyle. Ciara goes on to say she's very mute, she's going to be that weak figure, and he'll be the star of the relationship. And she said nothing wrong. Okay, but then Kyle telling her like, oh, that's a little harsh. Ciara being like, she's your wife, not mine. Oh, how I love Ciara. I love her. I do love how Kyle was like, obviously your feelings are valid, Ciara. It's just hard for me to hear you talk to her like that. I feel like Kyle definitely has a soft spot for Amanda. Obviously, that's his soon-to-be ex-wife. I don't know. It must be hard for Kyle. He's seeing Amanda upset and seeing his former friend like comforting her. So that's weird. But let me be so honest, Kyle, that was not harsh. Like, honestly, that was nice coming from Ciara, seeing as what they did to her. I mean, did we watch Ariana during like the Scandal reunion? Remember the whole cheese grater scene?
5 moments from part 1 of the Summer House reunion that I cannot stop thinking about. Let's flow. The first thing is Amanda's double standard. I can't get it out of my head. When Ciara said to Amanda that she was still married to Kyle when she was going around and doing everything with Wes, Amanda defended herself by saying that they had been separated and they were just legally married, but they were separated, so obviously she's allowed to move on. But then in the same breath, literally in the city, she's gossiping about Danielle to Lindsay, saying that Danielle's new boyfriend is still married, even though Danielle's boyfriend Owen and his ex-wife have been separated for a lot longer than Kyle and Amanda had. This is just one prime example of the logic just not clicking for them. Speaking of logic, the second thing I can't stop thinking about is the logic trap that Lindsay caught West in. It was later on in the episode, but it was brilliant work by Hub House. Lindsay straight up asks West, what is stronger, when you sleep with someone or when you have an emotional connection with someone? West didn't hesitate and he said emotional connection, and Lindsay said thank you and didn't elaborate because her entire point was made by West's answer. Because Amanda and West actually formed this emotional connection far before having a physical one. And if West thinks that's stronger, that is just proving that it hurts this situation, specifically Ciara and Kyle, even more. So she caught him right in his own trap. The third thing I can't stop thinking about is the only time Amanda actually cried during the reunion. It was honestly like a little hard to watch how she was just like disassociation maxing, but the one thing that got her was right at the end as the credits were rolling, and I hope they replay it at the beginning of the next part. Ciara mentions that Amanda might actually be the perfect person for West because West needs someone who's gonna stay quiet, not check him, and be lazy so he can be the star of the relationship and do whatever he wants. And Ciara said Amanda fits that bill perfectly, and that is what finally got Amanda to start crying. I hope we get to see a little bit more of that moment because I can't stop thinking about the intensity of that specific situation. Moving on from West and Amanda, one is of course the moment with KJ where he admitted he was really struggling in the fall, was admitted somewhere and is doing much better. Ciara and Mia were there every single day checking on him, and the entire cast and all of us on our couches were in tears, and in a shock to no one, Amanda and West during this situation were completely stoic. This was so brave and vulnerable of KJ to share on this massive platform, especially after only having been on the show for 1 season. So this was a super important moment that I definitely don't want to get overshadowed by all of the other drama and nonsense, because KJ deserves a ton of cred here, and I want him to know the entire Bravo community is behind him and loves him very much. And the last thing I can't stop thinking about is how Bailey secured her second season immediately. She came to play when it came to this conversation with Ben. She stood on business, defended herself, and defended the other women she thought Ben had inappropriately talked to. Her vocabulary was on point, her timing was on point, and her points were on point. All in all, I thought the reunion was amazing. The way they started it, it was literally cinema. And just one more little fun personal tidbit about last night. Obviously, I cover all of the reunion on Threads, and Andy Cohen changed his profile picture to one of the screen grabs that I got. So I'm feeling a little special that like I got a really good moment and he saw it. So if you need good reaction shots and memes, you know where to find.
I'm sorry, but I really think Ciara could have been meaner. I know Kyle thought it was a little harsh, but honestly, I was like, nah, that was pretty nice. Okay, let's take it back to Ariana Maddox. Iconic Scandal reunion moment.
I genuinely was coming from a place of, do you want to be in this relationship? Because I'm
The answer
hearing
was
what...
yes, and you had already him at that point, so shut the up. Yourself with the cheese grater. You suck. You're disgusting, and I wish nothing but the worst that could ever happen to a person on you.
Is it bad that anytime I hear Ariana Maddox with the cheese grater line, I just can't help but smile? I mean, all Ciara did was literally describe Amanda. It's not like she used really mean words. She said, Wes needs someone that's mute, that's not gonna like check in on him or clock him for any type of behavior, and someone that literally will let him be the star of the show. I'm sorry, did Ciara lie? No. And look, I get it, like I said in my last video, yeah, Kyle has a soft spot for Amanda. Obviously, it shows. And he even told Ciara, like, look, your feelings are valid, totally valid. I just think it's a little harsh for him to hear. But sorry, Kyle, I mean, I guess you can, I don't know, get some earmuffs.
You're a snake, Amanda.
I don't care what that